Hey there, it's Alyssa here with another episode of Awkward Author. And today I'm actually going to be vaguely informative. I've been doing this author thing for a few years, and there are some things that I've learned along the way. Today I'm going to share with you some things I've learned about doing book signings, specifically what an author should bring with them to a book signing. Most obvious thing would be a pen. You can usually tell new authors apart from authors who say been doing this for a few years by their pen choice. You'll usually notice that new authors are very particular about their pens and take great pains to match their pen color to their book cover color, while authors who have been doing this for a while basically just want a pen that actually writes and don't really care too much what it looks like. You want to bring copies of your books with you. Now I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, I'm doing this book signing at a bookstore and they have ordered copies of my books, so I don't need to bring my own books. Bring your own books. One of my first ever bookstore signings was with a group of authors, and so the bookstore had supposedly ordered all our books and had them ready for us for the signing, but there was one author in the group whose books they somehow forgot to order and didn't have them in time for the signing. Guess which author that was? Yep, me. And of course I did not have extra copies of my book with me because I said to myself, well, they're gonna have copies of my book there, I don't need to bring copies with me. So I was at a book signing where I couldn't actually sign any books because they didn't have any for me to sign. Bring bookmarks or other promotional items. Not everyone there is going to be able to buy a copy of your book, but you'll feel better if you can hand out little promotional things and hope that somewhere down the road they might actually remember you and read your book. And it's a nice little gift for those people that do buy your book and then can have a matching bookmark. On that same note, bring business cards. Inevitably, you're going to meet people there who say they would buy your book, but they don't have the money to right now, or that they're a teacher and they're interested in getting your book for their class, or some other excuse that may or may not be true. And they'll ask for a business card or a way to contact you, and so a business card is an easy way to give them your information. The chances are better than good that it'll get filed in their circular file, but who knows? It might actually lead to something down the road. You never know. Bring a name tag. I have a collection of these from different writing events I have done. They come in handy. Inevitably, when you are sitting there behind a table filled with your books and a sign that says book signing today or something to that effect, people are going to wonder who you are. They are not going to naturally assume that you are the author, even though this would be the obvious assumption. People don't always make the obvious assumption. Bring some candy or something else to otherwise bribe people to come over and talk to you. Bring some candy that you like. This way, if you get hungry, you can snack on some. Unless you are dieting or trying to cut back on sugar, in which case you should bring candy that you specifically don't like. And speaking of food and beverages, bring something to drink for yourself, some water or other beverage, and bring it in a spill-proof container. Inevitably, water bottles and coffee cups will get knocked over, and you don't want to damage books or bookstore property. Bring some Postit Notes with you. This is so that you, or the people that want to have a book signed to a specific name, can write down the name on this pad. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking you'll just write it in the book. Here's the problem. Once you start doing book signings, you're going to meet people with some interesting names. You'll meet someone named Jen who spells it with a P. It's really difficult to fix a misspelling that you've written in a book, but it's easier to get it right first on your Post-it note and then copy it into the book. Bring a reading copy of your book. It'll probably look like this with Post-it notes or other bookmarks sticking all out of it. At some book signings, there will actually be an audience of people, and they might expect a short reading from your book. Emphasis on short. You don't want to bore people by reading for too long. You also don't want to pick boring passages. That's why it's easier to bookmark and practice passages ahead of time before going to a bookstore. You don't want to pick a passage that gives too much away if your book has a surprise or twist to it. You also don't want to pick a passage that's going to require a lot of explanation and backstory. Maybe something funny, entertaining, or action-packed. You'll probably bring this anyway, but bring a phone or other device so that you can take pictures of the historic occasion for posterity's sake, and for book promotion's sake. You'll want to, during your downtime, spend some time on social media promoting the event and talking about how awesomely it's going and how awesome the bookstore is for having you there to sign copies of your book. Some exaggeration is acceptable and pretty much expected when you are talking on Twitter or Facebook or wherever about the successful event and how well it is going and how many fans that you have met. Okay, I hope these tips help you if you are a new author and getting ready to pack up your stuff to go to a book signing. And I hope that you have tons of fans at your event and have a great time and sign lots of books. I put out awkward author videos every Tuesday. Sometimes, like this one, they are actually informative. Most of the time they are not. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to give it a thumbs up or subscribe to my YouTube channel.